Hello everyone, welcome back to New Wellness Concepts. In today's My Wellness session, we're going to do an introduction to some exercise. I'm going to give you 3 videos to follow that are approximately 8 minutes of exercise each. We've talked about this in the past, and I've told you that to make a physiological change in your body, you need at least 8 minutes of exercise. What I've tried to do is put together some exercises that are easy to do anywhere in your home and that will cover pretty much full body exercise. I tried to vary each of the 3 videos, and what you can do is start with one 8-minute video and then start putting a second and hopefully eventually even a third together to get more exercise. As always, before starting any exercise program, you need to check with your medical provider to make sure you're healthy enough for that exercise program. What I'm going to do today is walk you through each exercise just briefly to give you some insight on how the exercise is done and how to make it either easier or harder as you go. So what we're going to start with are just some warm-ups that you'll see through the video. The first thing we do is just some arm and leg shaking, jiggling the arms, shaking the legs. You might see swimmers doing this before they go to swim. Shake the arms, shake the legs, get them nice and loose and let them shake. That'll get some warm-up. And we'll go through the repetitions and the numbers as we go into the other 3 videos. The next thing that you'll see is just a trunk twist to warm up. Don't overdo this. Nice and easy. You don't want to hurt your back doing this. You just want to warm up the muscles actively. The next thing you'll see is a push-up routine. You can do a regular push-up where you're just going straight up and down, keeping the body rigid. You can put your knees down to make it a little easier. And if that still seems to be too much, you can actually do a wall push-up. Feet about 18-20 inches from the wall, hands shoulder width apart, and just do the wall push-up. So you've got some variation there. The next thing you'll see in the video typically is marching in place. Okay, you can march gently, barely picking your feet up. You can start high stepping or even jogging in place. The arm motions also affect this. Putting the arms overhead will make it harder. It taxes the heart and lungs quicker. You can punch out to the side or just keep the hands relaxed at your side to make it easier or harder. Okay? The next thing that we typically do is just a squat, a regular squat. You're just going to drop down. Again, the deeper you go, the harder it is. In the beginning, you may do just a shallow squat, and as you get better at it, you can go a little deeper and a little deeper. Okay? The next thing we'll do is a triceps press. I brought this chair in. You can use just about anything. It needs to be a sturdy piece of furniture, the end of your bed on the footboard, a solid piece of furniture like this chair. You're going to put your feet out in front and you just drop yourself down and press up. If that's too hard, you can bend your knees and bring them in closer so it's a little bit easier with the legs there. And if that's still too hard, put yourself on the chair and use your legs a little to help press yourself up and down. Again, makes it easier as you go. Okay? The next thing that you'll see, they're called Heisman's. You're going to just take a quick step and then pause, and then a quick step back and pause again. The longer you pause, the more balance it takes. Back and forth. You can make those steps bigger or smaller as you go. Okay? Again, we will go through another warm-up routine. Another thing you may see in the warm-up is just some stretching of the quadriceps muscles, the large muscles in the leg, doing just a foot grab. In the beginning, you may need to keep your knee out a little bit to make it a little easier. But as you get a little more flexible, you can point the leg straight down or even a little bit behind the other leg to get a better stretch. Okay? Hamstring stretching. Relax into a forward bend. You can do it a couple of different ways. You can brace on your own legs. You can let your hands drop down and just breathe. Don't bounce. Don't force that. Just relax and let the backs of your legs stretch just a little bit. Then what you'll see are some band exercises. I've brought some bands here just to show you. The darker the band, typically, the harder they are. The black is a little harder than the blue. There's easier ones. Green is a little easier. Red is easier yet. And then yellow is the easiest. Those colors do vary depending on the manufacturer. You can find these bands typically at any sporting goods store. And if you can't find them there, go talk to your local physical therapist. They will probably give you a couple of strands to get you going. Okay? What I'm going to show you very briefly is just, we're going to stand on them, and again in the video we'll be doing curls, and again it's really the bands that are going to change these. That's the easiest way to change them. We're going to do straight arm abduction. We're going to do a triceps press where you just straighten the arms behind you, slightly bend forward and press the arms back. We'll do a squat where you choke up on it and then press, keeping the arms straight, just straight up and down. Then we will do some punches, uppercuts they're called, just reaching across and up. Again, you don't have to move your feet. The color of the band is how you make these exercises easier or harder. We will do a straight forward reach, just straight out in front of you. And then we will do an overhead press. And again, if the bands are too much, you can just do the motions if you have to on these videos, okay? The final one with the bands is a squat with what we call abduction. The knees move apart. You're going to crisscross it in front of your thighs, wrap it around your legs, and what you do is you squat down and press the legs apart and then come back up. So down, knees apart, and then back up. And we'll go over this again as we go through the video, but that's how that motion is done, okay? The third video has to do a lot with lunging. We will do some lunges. We're going to do just a straightforward lunge. Again, the deeper you drop this leg down towards the floor, the harder it becomes. So you can just step out and step back, or you can step out and drop down lower and step back. Makes it harder, you decide. We will do a forward lunge. We'll do a side lunge. You're going to just point the foot out to the side and come back, and then we'll do the other direction. Step out to the side and come back. Then we'll do a backwards lunge where you actually reach the foot back and step back up, reach the foot back and step back up. To make the lunges harder, you can do arm movements. You can reach your hands overhead, you can reach your hands forward, and it makes the lunge harder, okay? So to show you that, a forward lunge, if you lunge out and reach, it creates more imbalance. You have to hold yourself a little stronger. We will also, in that video, use the bands for just a short period of time, and I'm going to show you on this door how to do a row. Hook it around the doorknobs, pull the elbows back, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. We'll be using that. We'll also put it on the top of the door. If you can squat down, we'll squat down on the floor and do lat pulls this way. If you can't squat down, you can stay standing, just get close to the door and do what you can from this angle, okay? As we go through the other three videos, the actual exercise videos, I will try to remind you of this, but I wanted you to see it before we actually started the other videos. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please, as always, give me an email.